Hello everyone, welcome back. We are now on page 2 of our road trip album. So I have page 1 over here. I turn it as if I'm turning the page. 2 is up there in the left, and I'm gonna show you all the, I'm gonna put that aside for a second, show you all the flaps that you need to cut for this. Okay, so flap A is a right hand flap, and that is 7 7/8 by 5 3/4. And 7 7/8 again, which I use commonly, is 2 lines before the 8. And we will score them after you cut everything. Flap B is the left flap, and that's 7 7/8 by 4 1/4. Flap C goes on top of flap A. That is 7 7/8 by 4. Flap D it's a top flap, so that's 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. E is a bottom flap, and we're gonna make a gusset out of this one, so I made it a little longer. It's 7 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I will show you that when we get to the scoring. F is a pocket, so that is 8 3/4 by 4 1/4. And G, you don't score, it's just going to be an insert, 7 1/2 by 4 3/4. So let's put that aside and bring out our scoreboard. All right, let's start with A. So A, we're going to score 1/2 inch, and the 5 3/4 side is going to be facing the top. Okay. B, we're going to have the 4 1/2 side facing up. All this is on the cut list. So to get the master cut list, go to the walkthrough video. It's the first one that shows you this album, and you can, under description, there's a whole big list of all the pages and the cuts you have to make. So print that off, and it'll be helpful just to have by your side. This one we're going to score with the 4 inch side facing up. D is we're going to have, let's see, the 6 1/4 side. So I'm going to go like here. Now I'm going to go over here so I can make sure to cover that up. You don't have to worry about that. You don't need to write the measurements on your flaps. I just did that so you can see everything. So now flap E has a gusset. So what you need to do here is score at 1/2 inch and then move it over 1/4 and score again. So what that is, we're going to have our long side facing the top. We'll do our 1/2 inch. So that 1/2 inch means, you know, the first score mark, well, this is 7 1/4. So the first score mark would be at 6 3/4. And the next one would be at 6 1/2. Let me just make sure. Let's see. Yeah, 6 3/4 and 6 1/2, and that gives us 1/4 inch. So. Okay, yes, that does. And this pocket, we're going to score on 3 sides, and we're going to start with our longest side facing the top. and G you don't score. So let's get these taped up. I am going to use my 3/8 inch tape. All right. So we'll go in the reverse order and start with F. Okay, so E, the one with the gusset, you're just going to tape at the bottom 1/2 inch. You don't need to tape in that extra space. That is just going to allow some extra room here. I felt that I needed that. Okay, C. I believe this is C. Okay, let me see. That's D. Okay, C. It's right along the bottom here, and again, make sure your tape doesn't go over that score line. And then we have B. And A. Okay, so let's start with A. I'm going to bring out my page, and A is our right flap. So that's going to go right here. So I'll turn my page where the right side is facing me. And I'm going to line this up. There's just a little bit of space at the top, between the top and the bottom, just like a 1/16 of an inch. And I will put my thumbs here on the bottom so I make sure that this is lined up with that edge. And that looks good. Okay. Now B. Goes on the right. We'll do the same thing. Line it up on each side. And my thumbs are down here. That could be a little closer, so let me... I didn't press anything down, so it's easy to move. But I could just get it a little closer to the edge here. Let's see how that looks. Looks good. Now I'll press it down. Okay. Now, flap C. Let's press this down. We haven't done that yet. Flap C is going to go on top of flap A. And basically, I want this to go on the edge here and fold down. And it's going to be kind of like a pocket, an open-ended pocket. You don't need to put anything on the top or bottom. But it goes, here's flap A, and it's just going to go on the left-hand side of flap A. Okay? So I'm going to turn it facing me. And line this up so it's exactly the exact same measurement as flap A. So I'm going to go, the left and right are going to be right at the edge. And I'm looking here, make sure this goes right up to the edge. Let me just lift this up a little here so I can use my thumb as a guide, so I can feel it right at the edge there. Okay. There we go. That's what that's going to look like. And then we have our flaps, top and bottom. So D is going to be at the top. And these two are going to be, they're not offset. So we get D and E. E's going to be at the bottom. It's got the gusset. I just need that because of the pocket that's going to be under here. So let's take D, and you can just play around with where you want it. I don't really want it smack in the middle. I just don't think that's going to look good. What I'm trying to do is have it, let's see a second. I'll show you the effect I'm going for. I want these pockets, when this flap is over like this, I want these to cover up this this piece. So I'm going to have it, doesn't have to be right exactly, but I want it covering that. So I'm going to put it right around there in the middle. So if you want, you can make a little mark. Always erase the pencil. I'm going to make a mark right there. It's about where I want it to be. Because these are going to be facing the top, and I just want it covering this flap. Let's turn this over. My little pencil mark is right here. So that's about where I want this flap to be. And right along the top edge of your page, right there. Let's turn this back around. All right, so flap D. We're making 2 folds along those score lines, and you see you have your 1/4 inch right here. So you're just going to be sticking down this side with the tape. That part goes along the edge. This line goes on the edge, not this one. So the one that's just above that tape. And I want this to overlap the top flap. So I'm going to take this part, no sticky on here, and I'm going to line it up so that it's the same, left and right. It's flush right here. And then I can maneuver this down. And I'm using my thumb. My thumb is against this flat gusset that we made, and that part is going to be flush with the bottom. Just gently put it down, and then press it down. So you see that that goes over that, and these line up. Okay. If you want, you can corner round these, and I think I am going to, I think that would look nice. I have this corner rounder. It's by We Are, and there's 3 sizes, the smallest, medium, and a large, and I use that throughout the book, so I don't have to have 3 different rounders. And they sell this all over the place. Okay, so now our pocket. Pocket is going to go on the bottom, right against this first line of this one with the gusset with the 2 lines. You want the line that's closest to the middle of the book to be where you have this this is going to be right on top of that. So let's cut our corners like we do with our pockets. So So like I did in the other videos, I go up to where the lines cross, turn it out, and keep going. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take off the bottom and stick down the side over here, and now I can see where I want this to go. All right, so I have plenty of room. There's a little bit of space. I don't want this edge of this pocket to go past this gusset line. I want there to be a little space between this fold and this pocket, which there is a little bit on each side, like maybe 1/8 of an inch. And the bottom, it could be flush with the bottom of the page, but the main thing is you can't go over this line right here where this flap is. So it might be a little in, teeny bit in, not exactly flush. Okay, let's see, that goes over there and it goes nice. Even if this was here, it goes over. That's the main thing, this needs to go over that. And I like where that pocket landed. So now I can take off the side tape. See, that went pretty quick for all those different flaps we had to do. Okay. Now, for magnet placement. Okay, I'm gonna pull out my small magnets. Where'd they go? All right. So first thing would be, well, let me see. I think we'll do flat A. I'm gonna put one here, and that's gonna land over our pocket. Okay. So not exactly, you can line this up and you want your magnet to go above that so it doesn't land right on that pocket. Stuck. And I'm going to tape this down. I'll put the opposite pole right there, the negative right on top, and fold this over. Oh, let me just, I think that moved a little bit. Just make sure. Felt like it moved. Now I gotta give that a second to dry. Okay, let's try it again. There. Okay, and this one, I want to put one right here, right on this flat. And negative. And as you go along, you can see if you want to corner around anything. I think this would look nice. It doesn't have to, but I'm gonna put a small little rounded edge. The good thing about this punch is every once in a while you just don't have it lined up, seated in there exactly right, and you miss. You can just go to the next size and it'll cover up that mistake. So there's that. Let's see where this one winds up. Okay. I want to put one in the middle, and I have to make it land on this, so I don't want to hang it off the edge. So I'm gonna look, see how much room I have to play with. Okay. So if I put it right like that, where there's like 1/4 of an inch, I just want to look and make sure it lands right here, which is plenty of room. It's not going to hang off the edge of this. So once I like that, I can tape it down. And again, if you don't like the way the magnets hold the flaps, you can always change it before you put down your designer paper. You got your undo, and even if you lift off a piece of paper, it's going to be covered up with your design paper. So if you don't like the way it comes out, you can change it. That stays down really well. We might not even need this because there's one directly under it. Let me see, out of curiosity, if I even need this. Yeah, it's kind of weak without it. I'll still put it there. Every once in a while you can save yourself a magnet. It'll be really strong because there's this one and then there's the one under here. So let me just give that a second. In the meantime, while it's drying, I'm going to put a magnet on my E flap here. Okay, so that should be dry by now. See where this winds up. Okay, this one's going to wind up right here, which is good. You just don't want it in the middle of these. So that is good. Okay. Okay, so actually, you know, I might make this flap go on top of this flap, in which case this would go on top of there. So I think that would be better. Like I said, now's the time to make your final adjustments. I'll set that aside for a second, let it dry. And let's put our positive magnet on top of flap D. Get that sticky off my hand. Come on. Okay. I think that would be better. Okay, so this, where did my negative go? There it is. Okay, this will go on top of here. On here, and this one will go on top of that flap. I think I like that better. Okay, and now this, we need our minus here, is going to go on top. Okay, now I'm just looking at this, and this is popping up a little much, so I think I may add a magnet. Oh, sure. Instead of having the one in the middle, let's have two on each side, so that means I only need two more, another plus and minus. I'm going to move this one to the edge and put another one here. I think, see how that is popping up right there? I'm not liking that too much. If yours doesn't do that, you can just leave it the way it is with the one in the middle. For some reason, I've done it before where it doesn't pop up like that, that corner, and sometimes it does. So I don't like it sticking up like that. So I will do the 2 magnet approach instead of the one in the middle. Sometimes you just have to see how it goes. I'll put that there, let it dry for a minute. Up in the corner here, get that away. Okay, for our little G tag, you know, the one that goes in the middle, G, I'm going to put some brads on there, and I was able to find some that have like a workmanship kind of look. There's some that have like they look like the top of a screwdriver, you know, or a stamped, like the stamped floor with the tire prints. I have that, so I'll show you. If not, you could just put some, like a nice bronzy brad there, and it would go perfect with this. 'Cause after this, we're going to decorate the pages. Okay, so let's fold this over. There, and I like the way that lays a little better. I hope you do too. we got that going there, this going there, the top one, and then the one with the gusset. And there we have it. Looks good. Our little insert here, I am going to corner round, and then I'll show you what I did to decorate. That's gonna go, basically you got these up here, you just put this, lay it down right in this flap here. You lay it down and the magnets hold it. So it does, you don't really need the pocket on the sides. And it's kind of just a cool look. And this is where I'll put my brads later. So we did it. Congratulations. Page 1 and 2 are done. And I'm going to show you what I did to decorate. Okay, so let's bring this out and I'll tell you what I used. Okay, so this goes there. Okay, so ignore that. We'll do that in the next video. I love this page. So what I did is there's 2 cutouts on the same sheet that you had your cutouts on the other side here. There's a truck here and a motorcycle parts. Whichever one you think would look nice on the front. You can put this here or this there. I loved the way that looked. So I put that first. So I have that here and this here. On the other sides, these are from the Craft Consortium metal texture pads that we got. Same with this one. This is like a rusty paper that's in that collection. It goes perfect. Here's a piece that I have. It's like half blue and brown. And there's that on the inside. Now, I'm not sure if this might be from the patterns and solids. So you have to take a look. I think this is from the patterns, or it could be on the back of one of the 12 by 12, but I'm pretty sure it's from our patterns if you wound up getting that pack. You don't necessarily need that pack. You can always take a piece from the Craft Consortium. So I chose that. For this one, these are, if you can see those brads, they're like a stamped imprint of a tire mark. So I thought that's really cute. So you put your design paper first. I have a little tool, a little pokey thing, and you just poke your holes. If you want to take a ruler and measure and draw out so they're equally spaced. And then the other side gets covered. I will still tape down my other side of the brads just so it doesn't poke through here. I'll put a piece of score tape there and then put my design paper. So that goes there. And this was a piece from one of the backs of the papers. It was either the back cover, I think, of the 12 by 12 pack. I have this is leftover. And I left the rest blank because I can put memorabilia from a trip in there. Or you can make another booklet with you. You'll have plenty of leftover paper. So that goes there, that, and that. It looks beautiful. And then this is what I did with the pullout. And the next video, we will do page 3, which is a lot of fun. So see you soon.